Hello, people. It's Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. And it's, it's showtime. That's what it is. It's showtime. We are here to talk about marketing because the rest of us can't stand algorithms, SEO, and technology. We just want to make a human connection, human contact, and make a difference because that is our strength. That is our passion. That is what we're here for. Okay, let's dive into this topic, shall we? I delivered a training today to the Groundswell Method Intensive going through this particular session or this cohort. And one of the things that came up today was you have to study form to leave form. You have to study form to leave form. Let's turn this light on. Here we go. Studying form to leave form. This is really important because for years, so many years, I shot from the hip. I'm a shoot from the hip kind of guy. That's my default. That's how I was wired early on. In college, I would pull all-nighters and turn my paper in the next day, right? Like that's how I did school. I was just kind of that way, right? And I really like pressure. Like I like deadlines. I like coming up on pressure. It makes me, I think sharper, I think faster, clearer. And without that pressure, I don't always perform as well. And so for many years, my marketing was very, by the seat of my pants. I was very much by the seat of my pants in my marketing. I would make a post when I thought to make a post. I'd do a video when I thought to do a video. I would send an email when I thought to do an email, but nothing was ever structured. And so because of that, I kicked the can down the road on my success for years. I mean, years, dare I say decades. But the thing is, at some point, I would say this, it wasn't that I didn't want to study. Like in my adult life, I really dove into marketing. I've studied marketing for so long. But it doesn't mean I stayed with the form, right? Like I would study stuff and then I would go shoot from the hip. Have you done this? Like you go read a book, you read a course, you take a course, you pay for a coach, and it's good for a moment, but you don't actually submit to the form of it. I did this in college. I self-taught myself guitar. And, for, a Christian kid in college at the time, I would just learn C, G, D, C, G, D, maybe an E chord every now and then, an A chord to spice it up. But for the most part, you learn a couple chords and you're good to go as a college kid with a guitar, right? That was the length of studying form, if you want to call it that. But there reached a time in playing guitar where I couldn't do any more. I couldn't do it. I was bound by the instrument. The instrument ruled me. I did not rule the instrument, right? There became a time where I felt like all I could play were the same old songs over and over and over because I didn't study scales. I didn't study form that way with guitar. And so it's very similar in marketing. You have to study form in order to leave form. With guitar is such a great example because if you study your scales and you know your scales backwards and forwards, you understand why the scales work, how the scales work, then you can actually riff however you want to riff on a guitar. I just didn't do that, right? So I was stuck to C, G, and D and the A chord and the E chord every now and then, right? And if it got really moody, I could throw an E minor in there. But here's the point. You have to study the form in order to leave it. So many of you, like me, are stuck in this feast and famine revenue or income cycle. It's good some days and it's bad some days. And it's because you kind of shoot from the hip with your marketing like I did, right? And so what is the answer? The answer is to find a model of marketing that you can submit to. Find the kind of marketing you want to do in the world. Just like if you were a guitar player, you'd find the kind of scales you want to play or the kind of music you want to play, moreover. And then you would submit to the scales of that kind of music the way you needed to in order to be a master of that style of music. If you want to master your income, if you want to master your marketing, if you want to be somebody who isn't bound by Facebook algorithms or blog SEO posts, etc. If you don't want to be subject or slave to the algorithms, then you have to start to master a model of marketing that goes around or rises above that kind of technology, right? For me, that is all about speaking an authentic message to your specific people. If you can find the message you want to say to the world and the people you want to say it to, and then study or submit to a model of marketing that actually shows you the way, that actually shows you how to capture your truth, number one, and then repurpose that truth over and over again through different marketing mediums so that you show up everywhere. You appear to be everywhere. And when people see you, it's not just, oh, there's that face again, like you're on some bus bench, right? But that you're actually somebody who people go, I know that guy, I like that guy, or, oh, that girl's amazing, I love that girl. Because the kind of marketing we're talking about here is authentic marketing. When you speak from your truth, when you share back with others what life has taught you, that is the kind of marketing that moves a soul. But to do that, to move a soul, you can't just rely on shooting from the hip if you're inspired today. You actually have to study form in order to leave form. You have to study marketing in order to leave marketing. And most people just aren't studying marketing. Most people just aren't submitting to a particular model of marketing. And for the most part, it's because most marketing models and methods don't feel like they fit who we are. They don't feel authentic to who we are. And so, good for you. I appreciate you not selling out. I get that. I love that. But it doesn't mean that there isn't something for you. There isn't a model for you. There is a model for you. If you want something authentic, I feel like I've found that model, right? It's what I teach in the Groundswell Method Intensive. In my 6-week program, that's what I teach. And that's been the feedback. But you can't just keep moving forward hoping that you get results through organic posts when you feel like it, right? So if you'd like a more proactive way to generate revenue and to promote your business in a way that inspires souls rather than spams them, I would recommend you start my free course at groundswellmethod.com. It's 5 videos, just over 90 minutes, and that is a taste test or an appetizer to my 6-week intensive program where we actually dive into the form you actually get to leave once you master it, right? So there you have it, gang. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight in this episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. And until tomorrow when we go live again, good night.